Margaret Atwood was born in Canada and grew up surrounded by forest books and endless imagination from a young age. She questioned the world around her. She loved to read and write stories that explored what could happen if power and freedom were taken away. As she grew older, she began to see how society treated women, how technology began to change people, and how the planet was being destroyed slowly. She turned her thoughts into stories that were not just fiction, but powerful warnings to the world. Her most famous work, The Handmaid's Tale, came from her fears of what could happen if people stopped fighting for their rights. It showed a world where women lost their freedom and were treated like property. When the book came out, many thought it was just a story, but years later people realized that many things she wrote were beginning to happen around us: governments controlling people, women fighting for justice, and freedom being tested again. Her words became a mirror to the world, showing what we could become if we stayed silent. Margaret never called herself a prophet. She always said she just paid attention. She watched people, politics, and nature. She believed that stories are the best way to make people think without forcing them to agree. Her writing is full of truth mixed with imagination. It makes readers feel fear, sadness, and hope all at once. She wanted everyone to understand that freedom and kindness can disappear if we take them for granted. Beyond The Handmaid's Tale, she wrote many novels, poems, and essays that explored survival, identity, and power. She wrote the Testaments years later, which continued the story and won her huge praise again. But what makes Margaret Atwood truly special is her courage to speak. When others stayed quiet, she was never afraid to show how dark the world could become if humans let greed and control rule. Her stories always came from real fears and real questions. She asked, "What if?" and then showed us the answer in ways that were both beautiful and terrifying. Her connection with nature is another powerful part of her work. She has always warned about climate change and destruction of the environment long before it became a global issue. She once said that we are part of nature, not above it. Her novels like Oryx and Crake and The Year of the Flood show a world destroyed by human pride and science gone too far. Yet even in those broken worlds, she always leaves a small light of hope, because she believes that humans have the power to change if they choose to listen. Throughout her life, Margaret has been more than a writer. She is a teacher, a thinker, and a voice for truth. She has inspired generations of writers and activists to use words as a form of resistance. She never chased fame or glamour. Instead, she built her legacy with wisdom and honesty. She continues to write even today, reminding everyone that silence is dangerous and awareness is power. Margaret Atwood's story is the story of a woman who turned her imagination into a warning system for humanity. She showed us that stories can shape the future. They can wake people up and push them to take action. She has taught the world that the most dangerous thing is not fear or pain, but indifference. She once said that nothing changes if we do not first imagine it. Her imagination changed the way we see the world forever. Margaret Atwood remains a voice of courage, reason, and truth in a time when the world often forgets to listen. Her life proves that one pen, one story, and one brave mind can warn the world before it is too late.